Housekeeping items. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. My name is Jeremy Matthews from the Office of Professional Programs. It's my pleasure to welcome you this morning to UMBC's Fall 2020 Open House for the Cybersecurity program. Before we begin, please do note that this session is being recorded. For the best experience for yourself and others, we ask that you keep your microphone muted throughout the session, and if you have questions during the presentation, that you address them through the WebEx chat feature. There is a Q&A period outlined at the end of the presentation to address questions. At that time, again, through chat or by voice, feel free to ask us any questions you may have. And if we are not able to answer your questions today, we'll be sure to get in touch with you by email afterwards and let you know. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce Dr. Richard Forno, who's the Graduate Program Director for Cybersecurity.
Thanks, Jeremy. Good morning, everybody. And as Jeremy said, if you have questions during this presentation, please feel free to put them into the chat box. If I can address them during my talk, I will do so. Otherwise, at the end, Jeremy will triage them and we will respond to questions that were presented. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. And I appreciate you taking time out of your Saturday morning to be here with us as you look to advance your education in IT and particularly in cybersecurity. So, for those of you who don't know, UMBC is really blessed by geography. We're located in central Maryland between Baltimore and Washington, D.C. We have two campuses, and the great thing is that both campuses are located near significant hubs of cybersecurity and cyber warfare activities. If you look at the map on the right side of your screen, you'll see a map of the local region with two red stars. The big red star on the right is UMBC's main campus in Catonsville, which is just south of Baltimore. And the hub of green, just directly below it, relates to the technology companies around the National Security Agency and related entities. The red star on the left is our Shady Grove campus in Rockville, Maryland, in Montgomery County. So if you live out in Montgomery County, Northern Virginia, DC, that might be an option for you to attend courses as well. And as you can see, there's a large technology hub out there, mainly oriented towards biotechnology and biomedical research and the medical field. But still, I mean, we are perfectly positioned in this area at really what we believe is the epicenter of American, if not global, cybersecurity. And as you can see on the screen, there are a ton of activities and organizations around UMBC that directly influence the thriving nature of cybersecurity in this region for at least the past 10 or 12 years. As you can see at the bottom right, the chart, that table is a few years old, but it just shows you that even back in 2018, Maryland was one of the top four states in the country that had unfilled cybersecurity vacancies at all levels, from low-level technologists and systems analysts all the way up to exploitation experts and chief security officers. So the bottom line is, if you want to study and work in cybersecurity, the key takeaway from this slide is that UMBC and Maryland is the place to be. UMBC itself, we're a leader in cybersecurity. We have been for many years. I'm not going to talk about all the many activities that we have going on in cyber. That would be an entire day right there. But just a few of our key, perhaps most significant highlights that I want to bring up is that for close to 15 years, we have been a center of academic excellence in both cybersecurity education and cybersecurity research, as designated by the National Security Agency and then soon joined by the Department of Homeland Security. And what that represents really is that the U.S. government's experts in cybersecurity and national security believe that our curriculum at the undergraduate, graduate levels, and our research capabilities are of a high enough and quality and caliber to warrant special designation as an attractive place to pursue academic programs related to cybersecurity. So we're very proud of those designations. We maintain them. We're one of the few schools in the country that are designated both as a center of academic excellence in both cybersecurity education and research. Many schools are either one or the other, but because we're a research heavy university, we do a lot of work in cybersecurity research as well. We are a participant in the National Science Foundation's Federal Cyber Corps SFS program, Scholarship for Service. For those of you who may be familiar with the military's ROTC scholarship, this is a similar sort of concept where if accepted into the Cyber Corps and UMBC, you would receive full tuition reimbursement as a full-time student, plus a professional stipend of around $35,000 and some additional expense monies given to you as well during your studies. And in return, you have to obtain an internship with a federal agency during the summer. And after graduation, you have to go to work for the federal government in a cybersecurity role for each year of funding. It's a very prestigious scholarship program. It is merit-based, open to U.S. citizens and permanent residents only. But UMBC has been a proud member of SFS since 2012 with a very strong scholarship cohort. UMBC also has for many years been providing technical research leadership at the National Cybersecurity Center of Excellence's Federally Funded Research and Development Center, or FFRDC. And what's interesting about that is this is located literally around the corner from our Shady Grove campus in Rockville, Maryland. And NCCOE allows commercial companies, the commercial industry, academics and students and government to come together and address bleeding edge cybersecurity concerns that affect the civilian side of cybersecurity. What NSA does on the military side, this is kind of what NCCOE does with on the commercial and the civilian side. And we've had many students go there for internships and talks, and a lot of their employees have become mentors and faculty at our Shady Grove campus. So it's a very strong relationship at UMBC. It is a financial relationship. The University System of Maryland and MITRE, a defense contractor, are running NCCOE's FFRDC under a 20-year, $5 billion relationship. So it's a pretty big deal, and we're very proud to be part of it and to integrate academics and students and faculty into that relationship where we can. And then finally, I'd be remiss as the co-advisor of our Cyber Dogs, if I didn't mention that we are the 2017 national champions of the Collegiate Cyber Defense Competition, the 2019 Energy Department Cyber Force Competition, and oftentimes the winners of the Maryland Cyber Challenge as well. Just to show you that we have a wide range of accolades behind us at UMBC, and by coming to UMBC, you are certainly encouraged to take advantage of and participate in these activities, and I'll talk about more of them in a few minutes. I want to take a minute and particularly highlight the role of Central Maryland plays in cybersecurity. And as I said on that map page, we are perfectly positioned. And one of the key benefits of being located in Central Maryland is our relationship with the National Security Agency. UMBC's had over a 20-year relationship with the agency. We were actually the first school that was featured by the agency in showing how cooperation and collaboration between the government and academia can work and work successfully as a national role model. And if you're interested, there's a link on this page you can go to read more about the relationship. But I'd like to mention this relationship because it shows the strength of what UMBC provides the government, and particularly in this case, NSA. There's over 1,100 employees at NSA who are alumni of UMBC, whether that's undergraduate, graduate, what have you. Several students from our program have gone on to NSA as well. They've hired over 200 of our graduates at UMBC just within the past 5 years. I mean, we are a major provider of computing and cybersecurity and engineering talent to the agency. And the relationship extends to not just on research, but teaching. You'll see a lot of agency employees will serve as adjunct faculty, let's say, give tech talks on various topics and so forth. So the key takeaway here is just to show one example of a robust partnership that enhances UMBC's overall cybersecurity experience for the students, our cybersecurity capabilities as a research university, and certainly our cybersecurity capabilities as a center of academic excellence in this field. You can come to UMBC and just get your degree or your certificate, and that's certainly fine, and many students do. But I want to take a moment and throw this slide up here and show you the range of what UMBC has to offer. And this is just a sampling of the many activities that are going on. If, as I said, if I was to go through everything that UMBC does in cybersecurity, it would really take several hours to go through. But this is a high-level overview. And for the purposes of the talk today, I'm going to be talking about the items in red. The MPS degree, the Master's in Professional Studies degree, and our 3 graduate certificate programs that you can see. But as you see, we approach cybersecurity as a university along 4 key pillars. Education, absolutely. That's why you're here today. Research, as I mentioned, we're a research university. We look at answers to questions on both technical and non-technical challenges related to cybersecurity and society at large. Entrepreneurship, it's no good to develop things if it stays in academia. So UMBC is a very robust entrepreneurship and industrial relations capability through our BW Tech Research Park that allows academia and small businesses to develop and commercialize technologies and services, many of which are cybersecurity related. And then, of course, partnership. I just mentioned the NSA is one very strong partnership. We've got partnerships with other agencies and universities and companies all around the country and indeed around the world. But taken together, this represents UMBC's holistic approach to cybersecurity. It's much more than just hands-on keyboards, being a good geek or being a hacker. There's so much more involved. You can be a cybersecurity practitioner and be a lawyer or be a policy analyst or a police officer. You don't need to be a computer scientist or a programmer, as a lot of people might think. It helps in some cases if you're going into a technical field, obviously, but for the most part, cybersecurity really is interdisciplinary. And again, here I just want to take a minute and let you digest the range of opportunities that you have at UMBC as a UMBC student that would be available to you if you want to come here. You may be a cybersecurity graduate student, but you can participate in campus research labs, department research talks, things like that. You're not limited to just getting your degree. And I think that's important to note. As I mentioned, UMBC has 2 locations. Our main campus is located in Catonsville, Maryland, just south of Baltimore. And we have a presence at the UMBC campus at Shady Grove in Rockville, Maryland, which is a satellite campus for the Maryland University system that houses several university programs there. Both campuses are accessible to people in the region. Feel free to go to either. The programs, the cybersecurity program is identical in both locations. The cybersecurity program traditionally is a lecture-based program, in-person classes with some hybrid and online offerings during normal times. Obviously, because of the pandemic this year, which, by the way, I hope everybody is doing well, we are a fully online program and have rapidly transformed our courses from in-person to online. However, by and large, the majority of our students over the years have said they appreciate having the in-person lecture experience, the in-person networking opportunities with faculty, with their fellow students, but they also like having the flexibility to take some hybrid or online courses along the way. So during normal times, our program is a combination primarily of in-person, but then also several online and hybrid offerings as well, although at least looking at spring and hopefully only for spring, but who knows what the future holds, we will be operating in a virtual online mode for the spring semester as well. So before I dive into the program itself, I'd like to take a quick minute to let you know about me and who's overseeing and advising and directing this program. And it's not because I like talking about myself, even though I'm a professor, but it puts things in context. I'm not a career academic. I come from industry. I've been in the cybersecurity field since the early 1990s when I was still an undergraduate. And I've seen this industry grow up. I've helped shape parts of this industry. I've been that hands-on keyboard geek. I've been chief security officer at a multi-billion-dollar company at the center of the internet, and everything in between. I've been a consultant to the government, the military, things like that. But I think that's important to let you know that this program is very industry aligned, advised by industry, not just by me, but by our faculty and others, so that we remain relevant to both the current state of the industry and where the industry is heading. I'll talk more about that in a few minutes. But both myself and my assistant program director, Dr. Ben Shariati, who oversees the program at Shady Grove campus, we both come from industry and are not career academics, and that that is, I think, useful to put what I'm going to say next in context. So the key takeaway here is I'm not as ugly as that picture might show, but I certainly have been here for 10 years, and I like what UMBC's approach to cybersecurity is what attracted me to come over from industry And I wouldn't still be here if I didn't believe in UMBC's approach and how we execute on delivering cybersecurity education. All right, so let's start diving right into the academic programs we offer. At the graduate level in cybersecurity, we offer a master's degree and 3 graduate certificates, as you can see. The master's degree, we'll talk about all of these in some detail, starting with our graduate certificates. The graduate certificates are 4 courses each for a total of 12 credits total, and you can complete them in about a year if you take 2 courses per semester. That's up to you, how quickly you move through these. The Strategy and Policy Certificate is one of the original offerings that we ran with. That is a program, as you can tell by the courses, the course listing on the far right is geared towards, let's say, intelligence analysts, the Department of Defense, the government, political scientists, lawyers, folks that need to have a high-level overview of the role and influence of cyber in its truest form as it affects national and international policy. Okay, it is not a technically oriented certificate. The most technology you would get experience of that course would be exposure in the Introduction to Cybersecurity course, because you at least have to understand what the technology is in the field that you're moving into. Our second certificate is Graduate Certificate in Cybersecurity Operations, in the middle of the screen. And this is a more generalist-focused certificate offering. The purpose here is to introduce students to cybersecurity who may come from other disciplines, other career fields. Perhaps they're transitioning out of the military in a non-technical specialty, but they want to move into cybersecurity. As you can see, there are 3 courses as well, the introductory course, and then courses that will give it exposure to sort of the key issues of cybersecurity. And then we allow the students to pick an elective that can be a technical or a non-technical course on an area of cyber that may interest them, that they might want to explore or pursue more deeply. So for students that are coming from outside the IT or cyber domain, that's probably where they should start, is with the Cybersecurity Operations Certificate. And that's obviously a bit more technically oriented. And then finally, we a few years ago, I think it was in 2018, we launched a graduate certificate in forensics, which presumably folks, when they see forensics, you're thinking of things like CSI Cyber, where you're looking at identifying clues in cyberspace, looking at digital log files, trying to piece together what happened, recreate data, deal with evidence preservation ahead of a court trial, things like that. That is not necessarily an entry-level certificate, so don't think that you could start in that certificate and suddenly become an expert cyber sleuth. It doesn't work that way. The intro and advanced digital forensics courses will presume you have some additional knowledge as well beyond just the introductory course. But these are the 3 certificate offerings that we offer in cybersecurity. And I'm going to pause for a quick minute. Are there any questions about the certificate? Okay, I don't see any questions, so I'm going to move on to the master's degree. So the master's degree is a Master's of Professional Studies. It is a 10-course, 30-credit master's degree. The acronym is MPS. It is not a research degree, so there's no formal thesis required. It is not a research-oriented program. And it can be finished in about 2 years if you're diligent in your studies and take 1 or 2 courses per semester. Most students will take 2 courses per semester. Now, as you look at the middle of the page there, you see the 6 core courses and 4 electives. Now, if you look at those 6 core courses, notice that many of them map to what I just showed you in the certificates. Law and Policy, Cyber Operations, Risk Analysis and Compliance, Intro. Those are the same courses that you see here in these certificates. And that's intentional, because we have many students that start off with a certificate and then get into cyber. They like what they're doing, what they're learning, and they want to carry on. So all the courses that you take for your certificate are directly applicable to your master's degree as well. So if you finish a certificate, you're almost halfway done with your master's degree if you wish to continue. So you have 6 core courses and 4 electives. The 4 electives are up to you. This is a fairly self-directed program. It's up to you to determine what electives are appropriate for you based on your interests or your professional needs where your interests lie. But as you can see on the right-hand column, we have a wide range of rotating electives. Can't offer them all every semester, that just wouldn't work. But we offer several electives that are both technical and non-technical each semester that everybody can find things that interest them or relate to their needs. Some of these courses are run by the cyber program, by this program. Others are cross-listed or offered by the computer science department and are much more technically oriented. For example, the Introduction to Malware elective. We have several students in this program that take it. However, that's a computer science course, but that course counts towards your degree here. This program runs the reverse engineering course. I have many computer science undergrad and grad students that take that course as well. So you have flexibility in taking electives that are not just relevant to your interests and needs, but are beyond just the cyber catalog listed courses. Regarding the core courses, there are no prerequisites per se. The only prerequisite, I guess, or restriction is that in order to take the cybersecurity project, which is a capstone project, you need to have completed your other core courses first. And that's because most students take the project course in their final semester, certainly in their final year. That said, some electives may indeed have technical requirements that you should consult with the instructor beforehand. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a few minutes. Are there any questions about the MPS curriculum as you see here on the screen? Okay, so let's go ahead and carry on. This is the one marketing slide I include in my slick. It's my marketing slide. It's what I, from industry, think are really the important strengths and what sets us apart from other universities, both here and around the country. Firstly, our courses are all taught by current practitioners. They're working by day, and then they're coming to teach at UMBC at night. We have folks who are name recognized, pioneers. They've written books, policies, regulations, laws, doctrines on cybersecurity, cyber warfare, cyber operations throughout the government, and that experience is palpable and certainly ties into what they deliver to the students at the classroom. And let me give you a fun example of what I mean. One of the things I'm very, very proud of is the quality of our faculty. We don't accept everybody who wants to teach a course for us. If all a person wants is a paycheck to teach a cyber course, we don't take them. We want folks that are committed to the student experience and have a solid background and will make good instructors. One example I always like to use in highlighting this is several of my faculty indeed are rock stars. One of them is a retired senior executive from NSA, then became a senior retiree from a defense contractor. He taught our global cyber capabilities course, which is one of our electives. The class's final project was to do country-level assessments of cyber warfare capabilities like North Korea, Cuba, China, Israel, Russia, countries like that, and then present their analysis to the class for their final project. Well, they had their final class, or the second to final class. The professor called me that evening around 10:30 at night after he got home, and he asked if he could take the students' presentations into work with him. And I asked why. And he said the students did a better job than some of the analysts that he worked with at his employer. And I said, yes, by all means, just take the students' names off of the PowerPoint and bring that work in to show the professionals what real work, what the quality of the students. And he did. The last class, when he told the students what he did, the students were all smiles. They were thrilled that their work, directly influenced, raising the quality of the instructor's team at their employer. And it just shows you the level of interaction and involvement that our faculty have, the commitment that our faculty bring to our students. And we'll talk about some of that in a little bit. Our program, as its name implies, is very friendly towards professional schedules. Our courses are mainly, as I said, lecture-based, but for the moment, we're all online. Our catalog is, most of our students take cyber courses, but some will also take courses from the computer science department, or information systems, or possibly even data science if need be, among other programs, to develop their electives based on their needs and interests. Our courses meet Monday through Thursday, three start times: 4:30, 6 o'clock, and 7:10 p.m. Each course meets once a week for 15 weeks for about 2.5 hours. Those are for synchronous courses. Obviously, if it is an asynchronous online course, there is no formal class meeting, but there are requirements and deliverables and touch points that are made online over the course of a given week. But by and large, during normal conditions, we have a class of Monday to Thursday with 3 start times, as I just said. One of the things that really sets us apart in this program is our agility. Think back to 2013, I believe it was, when the Edward Snowden disclosures came out from NSA. And suddenly the world heard about things that we in the cybersecurity field have talked about for years, called the insider threat concern. A lot of students were asking about that. A lot of employers wanted to know more about insider threats. Well, that story, the Snowden story, broke in, I believe it was May of 2013. By August of 2013, one of my faculty had put together a solid course on the insider threats as a special topic. We offered it, and it filled up. And it filled up again in the spring semester as well. So we are very quickly able to develop and deploy new courses, quality courses, based on either student interests or changing trends in the industry. And of course, we update our regular courses as things change as well. We can't teach things from a syllabus from 2010. Some things have stayed the same, but a lot of things change. The technology changes, processes and recommendations change, so we have to remain current as well. So we're very agile in that regard. And then finally, opportunity. You can come to UMBC, as I said, and just get your degree or certificate and leave. But as a UMBC student, you have the opportunity to attend networking events, take advantage of our career services capabilities, job fairs, department tech talks that happen regularly, talks within our department's research groups, many of which are cyber related, webinars, things like that. We have that wide range of opportunities available to you as a UMBC student, but we can't force you to take advantage of them. That's up to you. We can tell you what they are, but it's up to you to actually pursue them. And as I say on the right, our alums have gone on to many great places. We have cyber program alums at Northrop, NSA, Amazon, out west, and elsewhere. You're not limited to just working in the local area. So again, this is an awesome career field, and it's an awesome career field, an awesome environment here in Central Maryland to be studying and preparing yourself to either enter or advance in this awesome career field. As far as our curriculum itself, I'm not going to dive into specific courses, but I just want to just throw 1 or 2 slides up to show some buzzwords that I think are very important. This survey from 2018 is put out by the folks that run the Certified Information Systems Security Professional Certification, or CISSP. And on the left-hand side, you'll see words like risk assessment, risk analysis, administration, incident investigation response, cloud computing, security engineering. Okay. And then on the right, you see various tasks. Okay. Our program, being professionally oriented, touches on many of these things. And I just throw this up there to highlight the importance of being aligned with industry and the real world. We're not just teaching theory. We're not just teaching specific technologies. We're teaching concepts and practices and technology skills in some areas to be applicable regardless of where in industry you enter. Will we cover everything you see on these screens? Absolutely not. No program can. But we do a very solid job of touching on many of the most critical needs within the cybersecurity industry. That said, I'm going to tell you a quick side story. This program was launched in 2010. In 2009, UMBC convened a group of local employers from NSA, from industry, and others in the Maryland government, and asked them, if you were going to create a recruit students from a cybersecurity graduate program, what are the top 10 things you'd look for? What are the top things you as a hiring manager would look for? Would you believe that the top 3 or 4 things had absolutely nothing to do with technology, cybersecurity, or anything like that? The top 3 or 4 things had to do with what you see on the left-hand side of your screen. Can you write well? Can you work well with others and collaborate? Do you have leadership skills? Are you a self-starter? Can you build relationships? Are you articulate? Okay. What many folks call soft skills or professional skills. And then, oh, by the way, sure, on the right-hand side, yeah, if they know Linux and Cisco and incident response and Unix, that's helpful too. But by and large, even now, employers want to see potential recruits that have a mix of the skills and knowledge of cybersecurity, but also the professional capabilities and personal skills that can allow them to put those competencies into practice. As I've said for years, you can be the best geek in the world, but unless you can work well with others, write well, be a team player, think critically, analyze things, yeah, you'll always have a job and a series of jobs, but you may not have a career that ascends over time. And what we want to do at UMBC is ensure that you're well positioned to either enter your second career or your cybersecurity career with the knowledge needed within the cybersecurity discipline, but also develop or enhance your personal professional skills to be an effective practitioner when you leave here. You need both those professional skills and the discipline skills to be an effective practitioner. I'm speaking now as somebody who's been a chief security officer, who's been a hiring manager. Okay, if I was hiring somebody today, I want people with both types of skills, the discipline knowledge and skills and the personal professional skills. Just having one or the other won't be enough these days. And a lot of other employers today are looking for students with that similar balance. And that's important. So the takeaway here is that our program was informed by this working group back in 2009, 2010. And in the many years since, we've refined our course offerings, and our courses are designed to do both, to talk about the various cybersecurity and cyber warfare and cyber stuff, but also work in things like group projects, presentations, short point papers, longer term papers, to develop those other skills so that when you do actually graduate, you are as well positioned as we can make you to move into or further along the cybersecurity career field. I mentioned the student experience. It's so important here. We certainly, as a university, we offer far more than just a degree or certificate. I've mentioned earlier, we have research groups like our Cyber Defense Lab, Ubiquity. Those are in our computer science department. You are more than welcome to become part of those. Come to CDL's bi-weekly meetings. Monitor Ubiquity's meetings. Maybe if you're doing some research, you can present at one of these meetings. You've got the Career Center and various networking opportunities throughout the year. Student groups like our Cyber Dogs or our Hackathon Club. All of these are available to you, and you're certainly free to take advantage of them as graduate students. In particular, I want to take a moment and focus on the picture at the bottom center of your screen with the flags. If you recall, I mentioned a few minutes ago that our faculty are rock stars, and they align, they bring a lot of their work, their professional experiences to UMBC. Several years ago, one of my faculty was a department chair at the Army War College in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. He would drive down once a week and teach 2 courses for us. Well, he had an opportunity to bring several UMBC students up to Carlisle to participate in one of the Army's tabletop exercise cyber war games, where they bring in units from around the country to compete in a cyber warfare scenario. And we sent a team up there, as you can see. They spent the day, I think it was a day and a half up there. They competed. They didn't win, but they didn't come in last place either, which is always a good thing. But it just shows, again, the experience that our faculty will bring to the students to enhance their own student experience at UMBC. So I like to tell that story just to kind of, again, underscore that our faculty really are committed to making sure that our students are, they get the best experience possible during their time at UMBC. So some other information about the program. If you're brand new to technology or cybersecurity, you really should start with Cyber 620, which is Introduction to Cybersecurity. If you have a CISSP certification or you've earned it within the past 5 years, we have an equivalency in place now where you will not need to take the introductory course. Please talk to us offline or after you apply how that would work. But essentially, if you have a CISSP that's been earned within the past 5 years, You don't need to take Cyber 620, but you can take something else in its place. It doesn't mean you take one less course. It just means you take a different course of your choice. As I said, most students take 1 or 2 courses per semester if they're working full-time. If you're 3 credits or more is considered full-time student standing, anything less is part-time student. This is graduate school, and the courses are more challenging. There's more reading, there's more writing, there's more work involved. So if you think you can jump right in and take 3 courses while also working full-time and dealing with the family, that's probably going to be a bit of a challenge. So I would recommend starting off with 1 or 2 courses per semester, particularly if you've been away from school for a while and you're not sure what's changed since then. I mentioned before our capstone course, Cyber 624, can only be taken after your other courses have been completed, which is fine. I mentioned about the electives that they're not all are offered every semester, and that some of them will have prerequisites. Absolutely. We do accept transfer courses from other universities, provided that those courses were not used for another degree. So let's say you started an MBA somewhere but never finished it. Maybe there's a course or 2 from that program we could accept here. But if you earned an MBA or you earned a degree at something else from another university, we can't take courses that were already earned for credit for a degree. That's double counting, and we can't do that. But we do accept graduate credits into this program. There are several avenues. After you've gotten in, you fill out some paperwork and we can see what's what. But if you have questions about the course transfers, feel free to reach out to us and we'll see what might be doable in that regard. Question came in. I know that Computer Science 626 is offered as a fundamentals class for cybersecurity. Yes, Sean, of course, I believe is a UMBC undergrad student, since he's actually using our course numbers. Yes, there's a paperwork you have to fill out to make that course count, but you could take 626 on your own as an elective, and but you would need to be in the accelerated program for that to cross count. So the last point I want to make on this slide is the last point. Appropriate graduate or professional research skills are a must. Now, this is not a research degree, as I said at the start. However, your professors, including me, should not be grading your papers or editing your papers as we're grading them, for example. I've had students who when I asked for an outline, they sent me a paragraph. Well, a paragraph is not an outline. An outline is a fundamental component of basic writing. You know, you're going to write a paper or write an article or write a paper for work. You're going to kind of outline the flow of things. So if you're unsure about your the level of graduate professional research skills that you have, you know, do a little bit of homework on your end. You know, take a research course, do some research on your own, watch some YouTube videos, so that when you come to UMBC, you hit the ground running. We're not expecting perfection, certainly not, but the rule of thumb will be the work you do in this program, whether it's in your introductory class, and certainly by the time you get to the capstone course at the end, should be of a quality that you would want to see published or that you would want to show your boss or your commander. Now, think of your own ability and your current writing style and research capabilities. If you write a paper right now, would that be something you'd want to see published next week? And if so, then you've got nothing to worry about. If you think that it would require some serious reflection and editing and things like that, well, then take it upon yourself to enhance those skills before and certainly during your time at UMBC as well. Again, we're not a research program, but we do expect a certain level of acceptable graduate or professional level research skills. So use that rule of thumb as a starting point regarding whether or not you'd want to see your work published or shown to your boss. And that I think is a good starting point for each of you to determine your level of preparedness to handle graduate level academic deliverables. The application for spring admission is December 1st, so you've got a little over a month to do that. It's an online application. Application fees up there. We need official college transcripts to be submitted. You can submit unofficial transcripts to start, but early on we will need official transcripts, I believe by the end of your first semester, if not before admission. So the easiest thing to do is to submit official college transcripts. You send the documents to UMBC Graduate School. When the application is received in its entirety, they will let the program know, and then it'll be reviewed. Your application will be reviewed by the program. The good thing about the cybersecurity program, in fact, all of our professional programs, is that we turn applications around fairly quickly. So you're not going to be left hanging for months on end, wondering if you were accepted. Once the program has made a recommendation, you will be informally told that you were admitted to allow you to plan your finances, plan your schedule, kind of plan your immediate future. But the admission is not made official until you receive word from the UMBC Graduate School that says, congratulations, you've been officially admitted. So just to let you know the process on that. But once applications are complete, they're turned around fairly quickly because we respect your time, and we know that you have to plan things on your end. So we want to make that as easy for you as possible. Tuition and fees for Maryland non-residents are shown below. They've come down a little bit because of COVID this year, but that's COVID's thrown everybody for a loop. But unlike a lot of other places, we haven't raised our tuition, so that's a plus. The SFS program is the primary cybersecurity scholarship program. It is merit-based, open to U.S. citizens and permanent residents. It is not a program to just give money out. Again, it is competitive. We have limited slots, and if you are interested in SFS, we are accepting applications for next fall. So you've got plenty of time to apply. I would suggest applying for SFS funding for the next academic year, sometime in the middle of the spring semester when the call goes out. And we'll certainly put that out by email. Question came in. Do CEH, the Certified Ethical Hacker Certificate, cover basic requirements in the cyber field? I'm not sure what that question means. Are you asking about the certificate itself, or are you asking about how it applies here? Somebody just posted a question in the chat, and I'm not sure what the okay. The CEH, if you have, similarly with the CEH, if you have earned a CEH within the past 5 years, that can be accepted in lieu of Cyber 620, but you would need to take something else. Does that answer your question? Excellent. Okay. So for questions about the program itself, the SFS program, UMBC, the cybersecurity field, all the big macro pictures, feel free to reach out to me as the program director. Again, I'm available on email pretty much all the time. I don't respond all the time, but that's the best way to reach me. If you have questions about the process for admissions, about transfer credit, administrative questions about administrative stuff, paperwork, dates, deadlines, things like that, or the status of your application, please contact Faith Din. She is our program coordinator. She's also very good about getting back to you promptly as well. Faith and I talk all the time, so if one of us doesn't know the answer, we'll ask the other, and if we don't know the answer, we'll find out who does. So that's we pride ourselves on being very responsive, not just our program, but all of our programs, being responsive to inquiries from students in a timely manner. The two links at the bottom of the page here, the first link is a link to the cyber program's website, which gives more information about our faculty and our courses and kind of what's happening in that regard, scholarship application forms, things like that. And then also I include the UMBC Cybersecurity Center form as well, Cybersecurity Center link as well, for you to take a look at some of the big projects that we're working on more broadly on cybersecurity. Even though we're not a research degree, some of our students have been involved in cybersecurity research activities in coordination with their counterparts in computer science, which is great. We even have some cybersecurity alums who have graduated who are still involved in ongoing research projects that they find interesting. So that's also very, very useful as well. And, of course, faculty, including myself, are engaged in some research activities too. So those are my key points. I hope that was clear to everybody. I appreciate your attendance today. I will say, if as you can see on the screen here, if you are interested in applying, you can use the special populations code that is listed on the screen to waive the application fee, which kind of is a additional incentive. So please do apply now if you want, and use the code. And I will open it up for questions. And I see a few questions are coming into the chat box, so let's see. If you are already part of the SFS scholarship program, can this carry over? Nancy, so are you in SFS at another university and you want to transfer here? Okay. If you had, yes, to Nancy, if you graduate from your university under SFS, depending how many years of funding you've received at your current university, you have to still have to apply for our SFS program here. But we have had students who are SFS scholars at one university who had a year of funding, and they applied, and we did admit them based on their background. It's not guaranteed transfer, but again, if you're SFS elsewhere, that definitely bodes well in your favor. So yes, I would go ahead and apply, and please reach out to me directly. I co-administer our SFS cohort, and if I don't have the answer to your question, I can point you in touch with somebody who does. But definitely do mention that you're a current SFS scholar. The Accelerated Bachelor's to Master's program. This is mainly a UMBC program, and thank you, Sean, for bringing this up. For those of you on the line who are current UMBC students, there is an opportunity called Accelerated Bachelor's Master's, or BS/MPS, or BA/MPS. What that really comes down to is a current UMBC student can take 3 graduate level cybersecurity courses that will count towards both their undergraduate degree and their graduate cybersecurity degree. There is a process. There's an application form on the cyber program's website. You should apply. You can apply in your junior year. And the advantage there is you get to take 3 graduate courses as an undergrad, paying undergraduate tuition, which saves you some money, but it also means that you have a leg up because you already, you'll have 2 or 3 courses under your belt by the time you are actually formally a graduate student. Please visit the cybersecurity program's website, cyber.umbc.edu. There's information about the accelerated program there, but we do have many students that come through that way, and they do very well. The only difference between, the only caveat is if you're a computer science student, you will have to take CMSC 626, Principles of Computer Security, instead of Cyber 620, and that's the only sort of minor wiggle. But if you have questions about the accelerated program, please feel free to reach out to me directly. Are there other questions? Let's see. For financial aid, is our GREs required? This program does not require the GREs, so we don't require the GREs for SFS. So other programs or scholarships may require them, but admission to this program or funding through SFS or CYSP do not require GREs. Sean, no GREs. When you apply for accelerated bachelor's master's, you're essentially applying to this program. So the normal admissions rules apply. So no GRE. Other questions? Okay, I'm going to unmute everybody so anybody who's on the phone can ask a question. Does anybody on the phone have a question? Does anybody on the phone have a question? I have unmuted everybody. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Good morning, Mr. Fomo. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Who's this?
My name is Luther Miller.
Hi, Luther. What can I do for you?
I wanted to confirm. Not confirm. I'm coming from the telecommunications industry. Okay. Copper, fiber, things like that. And I'm going to be making a change. So I just wanted to confirm if I need to have undergrad taken care of first before I can get into any programs that you're offering or talking about today.
So you're saying you do not have an undergraduate degree yet?
That is correct. And I'm looking maybe into certificates first to kind of get started, or you let me know if that's right. Kind of barking up the right tree, or.
I understand. Yeah, as this being a graduate program, we do require an undergraduate degree to be earned first. So you need a BA or a BS from
Yes.
somewhere
Okay.
to be considered for this program.
Okay. Now, with loud and clear, with that, does that lead into something where I can at least begin that at UMBC or begin with the certificates or?
So do you have any undergraduate courses at all, or would you be, where do you stand academically at the moment?
I've taken some classes at Prince George's Community College. They were many years ago. I've been, I'm a working professional. Been working for over 20 years at this point, but I'm looking to make a change. So
Right.
just kind of feeling my way out.
My recommendation would be to look. To be honest, there's little that I can do at the graduate level until you've earned an undergrad degree from somewhere. Yes, you could do it at UMBC, depending on your background. You could apply to, depending on how technical you are, computer science, computer engineering. Maybe the information systems program might be a good place to start. Once you are in the programs and you're closer to graduation, then you would be better positioned to start applying for items in this program.
Okay, information technology is a good starting place. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there are courses. I mean, the information systems department, they have degrees in, I think it's bachelor's in technology administration. They have information systems. So there are two different departments. There's the IS department and the computer science and electrical engineering department. I would say probably look at the IS department first for possible undergraduate opportunities. But also check out CS and engineering. If something there that's applicable, start there as well.
Sounds good. Thank you, Mr. Fulmore. Have a good day, okay?
You too. Thank you. Are there other questions from people on the phone?
Good morning, Dr. Forno. Excuse me if I mispronounce your name. My name is Angel. I have been battling with deciding if I'm going to start my career in cybersecurity for like the last 3 to 4 years. And I am in the DC metro area, so I've dabbled in a couple of contracts where I've been able to do like system admin work and kind of really just teach myself some of the things on the job training, basically. I've just been blessed to have people teach me and guide me throughout the positions and contracts. But I'm kind of in this fork in the road of whether I should go for the master's degree or start with something on the certification level. And this is my first open house, so I'm just interested in seeing, coming from a marketing background with a little bit of I guess tech experience, do you have a suggestion of which program would be best to go to?
Absolutely.
Okay.
No, please. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Please continue.
No. I was just going to say, because I've also, come across like cyber psychology, and I've seen, the integration of that with marketing. So I'm kind of just trying to see what would be, the best flow of, where I can start.
That's a great question, Angel. And as I said earlier on, you don't need to be a geek or a coder or a programmer to be in cyber. By way of background, 2 of my 3 degrees are in international affairs, but my entire career has been in cyber, and I've been a self-taught geek. So, marketing, business background, absolutely, there are cyber components to it. I've had students who have been in your situation. They've been contract administrators, but needed to get more exposure to cybersecurity because they were getting more involved with reviewing cybersecurity contracts and programs at their agencies. So what I would recommend is, if you're exploring the fields, I would consider looking at this the second certificate here, the Cybersecurity Operations Certificate. That's sort of our, I don't want to call it exploratory, but it would be a good start. It's a good starting point and a typical starting point for folks in your situation who are on the fence. They want to explore cybersecurity, kind of get a feel for what it's all about, and decide, is it worth pursuing more formally or not? And if you like what you've done, I mean, as you see, you've got 3 required courses and 1 elective. Well, that elective is up to you. It could be, something technical or something not technical, based on your interests. And we could talk about that as time goes on. But that would be my recommendation. We just start there to explore the field, see if it's really for you. And if you decide it's not for you, at least you've got the certificate under your belt. And if you decide to continue on, as I said, you're almost halfway through to your master's degree here if you decide to go for the full degree. So that's where I would point you to the Cybersecurity Operations Certificate as a starting point.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That's very helpful.
My pleasure. Other questions from people on the phone? And by the way, if you're on chat, feel free to put questions in chat as well. I'm not ignoring you either. Any more questions for people on the phone? No. All right, then I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody again. Any last questions from people in the chat box? Sean, I am not sure if you applied. Contact me directly. Let's look about that, because I don't remember seeing your paperwork. So it may not have reached the program yet, which means it could have gotten trapped at the graduate school for whatever reason due to COVID. So just email me directly, and we could talk next week. All right. So are there other questions? Samir, did you have a question per se? I'm going to go ahead and unmute you.
No, sir. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. All right. So are there any final questions from anybody in the chat? Going once. We're just coming up on 10 o'clock. All right. Well, folks, I thank you again for coming here to spend some of your Saturday morning with us. My contact information as well as face listed on the screen. Please reach out with any questions that you might have. We hope to look for your application sometime soon. And as we said, you can use the special code to get the application fee waived. We turn applications around pretty quickly, so I encourage you to apply, and particularly with COVID, that get things in sooner so you can help flatten our curve as well with regards to processing things. So on behalf of Jeremy and all the folks and faculty at UMBC, again, thank you very much for your time this morning. Stay safe, and we look forward to seeing you in our program sometime soon. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.